Keep me going. Click, click.
I know he just be flying. You have to make him slow down and tell you what he do. Otherwise, you won't ever learn.
All right, we'll be going live in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. I'm Socrates Garrett, and we're broadcasting live from right here in Jackson, Mississippi, the heart of the Deep South, right here in the African-American-owned broadcasting studio. We believe digital.com, our own platform. And so it's critically important that in the African-American community, we control the narrative. I look forward to receiving opportunities to show and advertise your products for goods and services, and to move your brand along in this community. We're broadcasting live on Facebook. When We Believe Digital Podcast, go to Roku and download our app, and We Believe Global, with shows like this to bring articulate, intelligent conversations and dialogue to our platform. So I'm here to continue sounding the alarm. This is how the South is going to rise again. We live?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon and welcome to Socrates Garrett Live. We're broadcasting live from right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi, my hometown. I call it a town, not a state, because, you know, we're all related to one another here in Mississippi. We have less than 3 million people in the entire state, and I don't care where you go, somebody is going to know something about you or your family in Mississippi. And so for that reason, we call it a town and a club. You know, there are a lot of things that have gone in Mississippi that we're not proud of, but there are a few things that we are proud of. We're proud of the fact that God has blessed us with a great climate. He has blessed us with some of the best fishing opportunities and Greenlands anywhere in the world. He's blessed us with the proximity of being 200 miles away from Mobile, Alabama, 200 miles from Shreveport, 200 miles from Memphis, Tennessee. And so you see, you can get to almost anywhere from Jackson, Mississippi. The Interstate I-55 and I-20 merge right here in Jackson, Mississippi. And for that reason alone, we ought to be a transportation hub serving the rest of the country. But we're not. And we're not because of poor leadership. And leadership matters. I don't care if you're at a high school football game, or if you're at a pro game, or if you're in church or in government. Leadership really matters. And the only way you're going to get your team to be a winning franchise is to bring in some better players and better coaches. Today I have with me my accountant, Rosilyn Burke. She's with me on day before yesterday as we talked about those things that are important in the realm of accounting. So Rosilyn, how have you been and how are you doing?
I've been doing all right.
You've been doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, the other day was our first time together, sharing some ideas and concepts on accounting. And so I want to stay there for a moment. Accounting in big bookkeeping and business in the African-American community is not taught in the school system in a way that you can come out of school and open your own business. And so you have to learn on the job.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about why accounting is important to African American businesses.
Accounting is very important because you need that to run your business, as, like I said, previous, to do your payroll, and then especially with taxes, and you're getting ready for 941s and your quarterly taxes getting ready to be due.
Now, 941, that's a bad number. It's like a 747 or flight or something. Now, What is a 941?
That is where you file your payroll taxes on.
Your payroll taxes. Now, those of us in business think that we have excessive burdens when it comes to taxes. So when it comes to payroll taxes, does the employee pay the payroll taxes or does the employer pay the payroll taxes?
They each pay a portion.
They each pay a portion. And what percentage is that? The employee pay 90% of the payroll taxes, or is it a 50-50 split, or how?
I think it's a 50%.
It's closer to a 50-50 split. So if the payroll taxes are $4, then the employee puts in $2, and then me as the employer have to match that with another $2. Where am I supposed to get that $2 from?
From your income coming in.
From my income coming in. And so if a business doesn't have income, then it has payroll taxes and burden, then the business owner is supposed to get that out of his 401k.
Or other funding.
Or other funding from somewhere else. So that's payroll taxes. And what other kind of taxes are there?
There's sales tax.
Sales taxes. Now tell me about sales taxes. When is it due and how do you determine how much you owe?
Sales tax is due on the 20th of each month, and you determine it when you pull your monthly sales report.
Your monthly sales report. So we take a look at all of our sales that occurred that month. Now, are all sales taxable?
No.
So you could have $1 million worth of sales and then have $1,000 worth of taxable sales.
Correct.
Is that right?
It just depends on what are you selling that's taxable and what's not. Some stuff is non-taxable and some is taxable.
And so on the report that you say is due on the 20th, you identify your total gross sales, and then you identify your taxable sales.
Correct.
And then what's the rate on your taxable sales?
Normally it's between 7% and I've seen some have 8%, it just depends.
And so it just depends. And now normally sales tax are established by the state legislatures. And so, but when you say it depends, it's because municipalities may have added an additional burden. For Jackson, I think they have the hotel restaurant tax of 1%. And actually may have a convention center tax of 1%, et cetera. So Jackson's taxes could be higher than, say, Madison's. And so that's sales taxes, and that's due on the 20th of each month.
Correct.
Okay, and so you are, in fact, as an entrepreneur or business person, required to collect the money for the government and turn the money in to the government,
Correct.
both on payroll taxes and sales taxes. So you, not only are you a business person, you're a collection agency. Is that right? And so there are additional taxes beyond that. What are some of the other taxes?
Well, of course, you have your state tax, your Mississippi state tax, which is due by the 15th.
Now, I'm not familiar with the Mississippi state tax. What is it? What kind of tax is that?
That's your state withholding.
State withholdings. Now, you take taxes out of the employee's check for state withholdings. Now, that's called a state income tax, I believe. And so we, business people, we collect that. And we have to send that to the government. And the business people don't have to match the state income tax, I don't believe. They don't. So you have the state income taxes that comes out of the employee's check, right? Okay, and and when is it due?
It's due by the 15th.
It's due by the 15th of the month. And then after that, what else do you have?
When you're doing your quarterly returns, you have your 940. You have to file your 941s. You have to file your state withholding tax, your sales tax. Then you have your quarterly wage report that you have to submit, and it must be submitted online. You can't mail it in.
Now, then you have this quarterly return. Is that consistent with federal taxes? So the federal government wants you to collect some taxes as well, is that right? Beyond FICA. So you got federal income withholdings, then you got state income withholdings. Then you said we got a 941 tax that we got to collect. And then we have the sales taxes we have to collect. And so basically the business person is in a great deal of his time and effort and expenses associated with collecting taxes and sending it on to the government. Is that right? And then when you do declare an income in your business, then you have another tax. Is that right? You have taxes on income. So you can be in several different brackets. Could be as high as 25, 30%, depending upon what bracket you're in. And then you have another tax there that the business has to pay as well in terms of assistance to the employees. The federal withholdings, we may match some of that as well. So you got your federal withholdings, you got your quarterly withholdings, you got your 941 taxes you told us about.
Yeah, that's a 941 that you that comes out of the payroll that you make your payments every week. Like if your payroll is due, if you process payroll on Fridays, then your 941 will be due. Your 941 payment will be due the following Wednesday.
Wow.
If you process your payroll on Monday or Tuesday, then your 941 payment is due that Friday.
Wow. So these tax burdens may or may not be distributed equally. I recall last night in the presidential debate that President Biden was saying that the very wealthy pay about 1% in taxes and small people pay up to 8 to 10% in taxes. So taxes are a great burden in the world of business. And so, but I guess that it's an essential because all of the social programs that are run throughout the country have to get funded from somewhere. And all of the upkeep on federal highways, et cetera, have to get funded from somewhere. And so, but it is a bit strange that those who enjoy those things the most pay the least. And those and folk like the ones in Jackson's help these potholes that they help hit. And
Get somebody out there to fix those potholes.
we need someone to fix those potholes, but we say we don't have the money because we don't have the business base, therefore we don't have the tax base that's required to take care of the infrastructure. And so we run into all kinds of issues. In order for a city or municipality to be healthy, it needs a significant tax base, and it needs a significant business climate. Is that right? You would agree?
There definitely needs some kind of structure in place to get everything processed.
Okay, so then we have this world of nonprofits out here, and so and on your tax returns, I get confused as to when a tax return is due. It seems like some of them are due in April, some of them are due in November. It's just got different dates.
It depends on the year your business ends.
It depends.
Like some people have their returns are due in April. It just depends on how the business is set up.
So there could be different times for different businesses that they're required to report things in. Now, over in the world of the nonprofits, there's something over there called a 990. And that is a method of reporting on your nonprofits.
That's correct.
And it's due at a
Certain time.
And so in order to be in business out here, you have to become an expert in taxes and know what the obligations and the rules and the regulations are if you're going to be successful in business. Now, this has been an update from Rosilyn and I, and we're talking about businesses and taxes, and we're going to continue to do this from time to time. And we hope that you continue to watch us. If you're looking at this show on Facebook, then we want you to share this program with your friends and family. If you're watching us on YouTube, go on and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to go to our website, WeBelieveDigital.com, where you can scroll down and listen to We Believe Radio. Some of the best music that you ever wanted to hear being played 24 hours a day right here in Jackson, Mississippi. This has been Socrates Garrett and Rosilyn Burke bringing you this business update. Until the next time, stay safe and good evening. Mic's off. Yeah. The mic's off. What is this up on the screen?
Maybe a couple more sections.
Go in and review and see how